Right now, there are almost 1 million GM vehicle owners who want answers. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has launched an investigation into a serious issue affecting GM's L87 V8 engine, and it's got truck owners and SUV owners on the edge. These defects have made over 877,000 vehicles a potential nightmare for people's wallets, and the worst part, this issue has happened before. What is it? Well, let's go. Starting with the problem. All right, let's get right into it. The NHTSA has officially opened an investigation into over 877,000 GM trucks and SUVs after receiving a wave of complaints from owners experiencing sudden and catastrophic engine failure. More specifically, people have been reporting failure with the engine's lifters, bearings, and oil consumption. And when stuff like that happens, well, it can't be good. The entire engine can lock up and seize, potentially while you're driving down the road. This isn't just an annoying problem where you hear a weird ticking noise and you have to take some of your own time to take it into a shop. No, in many cases, there are no warning signs at all. And then kaput. 1 second your truck's running fine, the next second, well, it's completely dead. And in the worst case, that failure isn't just internal. It actually causes the engine block to breach. That's a fancy way of saying that metal parts are breaking inside and literally punching holes in the engine itself. And guys, if that is happening, yeah, you're gonna need a whole new engine. And this isn't just happening to some obscure models. This issue is showing up in some of GM's most popular vehicles, including the Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra from 2019 to 2024, the Chevy Tahoe and Suburban from 2021 to 2024, the GMC Yukon from 21 to 24, and even the Cadillac Escalade from 21 to 24. If you own any of these, and my best friend owns the Escalade, you might want to start listening closely to your engine, or better yet, watching for any news from GM on this investigation. So, what's causing this? I mean, why is it happening? Well, owners and mechanics have reported that the culprit is likely something GM has been pushing for years, their cylinder deactivation technology. That used to be one of the coolest technologies I had ever come across, and now I'm having second thoughts. You know, GM has been using variations of this system for a while now, starting with active fuel management, AFM, and later moving on to what they now call dynamic fuel management, or DFM. The idea behind DFM, well, it's simple. Instead of running all 8 cylinders all the time, the system automatically turns off certain cylinders when they're not needed to improve fuel economy. It's actually quite a genius innovation that OEMs have been doing for years, but if it doesn't work properly, causing some serious mechanical problems. The constant switching between cylinder modes puts a ton of stress on the lifters, the bearings, and the internal engine components. Over time, all that extra wear and tear takes its toll and eventually leads to failures. And because this system operates automatically, drivers don't have any way to turn it off, just like that automatic start-stop that you can actually turn off. Anybody else hate that? Let me know in the comments below. And guys, this isn't just speculation either. GM's previous cylinder deactivation system, AFM, had a long track record of causing premature lifter failure and excessive oil consumption. GM has known about these problems for years, and lawsuits over AFM-related engine failures have been piling up since at least 2014. And now that the issue has resurfaced, well, it seems that we're gonna have to go through this all over again. It's made worse by the fact that the new DFM system was supposed to fix those issues. Instead, it's the same exact failures, just a different year, just a different part of the engine this time. Now let's talk about the repair cost nightmare. Okay, let's say you're one of the unlucky ones whose engine starts knocking or just outright fails. What's the damage to your wallet? Well, if you catch the problem early before your engine completely grenades, you're still looking at a massive repair bill. A dealership breakdown of the cost shows that the parts alone will set you back about $2,200, but the real killer is good old labor costs, baby. Yes, since this is an extremely labor-intensive fix, you're looking at around $5,370 just for labor. Altogether, it's like $7,500 plus in repair jobs. And that's assuming your engine is still salvageable. If it's not, well, full engine replacement could set you back well over $10,000. I mean, spending over $80,000 on a brand new truck and a year or two later having to deal with that kind of bill, can't say I'd be too happy. Would you? And well, there's no wonder there's an investigation happening now. So, what do you do if you own one of the vehicles that is affected? Well, One thing that we really haven't talked about is what you should do if you own one of these trucks or SUVs and you're worried about the issue. Because yeah, let's be honest, waiting around for GM or the NHTSA to come up with a solution isn't exactly the best strategy. So I did the research so you don't have to, and here is what you should do. First, monitor your engine closely. If you've got an affected model, now is the time to start paying close attention to how it's running. You're going to want to listen for any ticking, knocking, or strange noises coming from under the hood. Some owners have reported a subtle ticking before things go south, so don't ignore any weird engine behavior, even if it seems minor or because you ended up putting regular fuel from Arco in it. Don't do that either. Number 2, stay on top of oil changes and maintenance. Even though this is a defect beyond normal wear and tear, keeping your truck properly maintained can still help delay a potential failure. Make sure you're using the exact oil grade recommended by GM, and don't try to stretch oil change intervals, because that is a recipe for disaster. If possible, get an oil analysis done to check for metal shavings. This can sometimes indicate early bearing failure before it's too late. Then, third, report any issues you have with the NHTSA. If your truck has experienced any kind of engine failure, weird ticking, or lifter issues, you should file a complaint with the NHTSA as soon as possible. The more reports they receive, the more pressure they can put on GM to issue a recall or take responsibility, and the best chance that you will have getting a free replacement or a settlement. Then, fourth, consider extended warranties or aftermarket solutions. If your truck is still under warranty, it's a good idea to have GM dealerships document any concerns that you have about the engine. If they say everything looks fine now, this could help you if the engine fails later and you need to fight for coverage. If you're out of warranty, look into aftermarket extended warranties. Some of them cover major engine failures, and while they can be pricey, they might be worth it considering how expensive these repairs are going to be if they ever happen. And then fifth, keep an eye on GM's response right now, because GM is in the early stages of cooperating with the NHTSA investigation. If this turns into a full recall, you'll want to know as soon as possible. Even if they don't recall these trucks, there's a chance they're going to offer extended coverage or goodwill repairs if the pressure mounts high enough. So if you own one of these vehicles, this isn't something that you want to ignore. Stay informed, document everything, and don't be afraid to push GM for answers. And so maybe what are some better truck options? And I want to make it super clear here, you guys. The goal here is not to scare people from buying GM products. In fact, GM makes a bunch of great vehicles these days. But being informed, well, it's good. And if you are considering buying one of these trucks new or used and don't want to, well, here's a few good alternatives. If reliability is your #1 priority, you might want to look at the last generation of the Toyota Tundra with that 5.7 liter V8. That thing is about as bulletproof as it gets. Some owners have racked up nearly 1 million miles on them. Another solid option is a 2015 to 2020 Ford F-150 with the 5-liter Coyote V8. Those things sound so good. Ford's EcoBoost engines have their own set of issues, but if you stick with the naturally aspirated V8, you'll be looking at a pretty dependable truck. And if you're a Ram fan, the 2017 to 2021 Ram 1500 Rebel with the 5.7 liter Hemi is another strong choice. It's not perfect, but neither am I, and it's definitely holding up better than GM's current crop of V8s. So, what happens now? Well, considering the investigation and cooperation from GM has just begun, it might be a while before anything actually comes to light. Big class action stuff and recalls can literally take years to come to fruition. But it's super important to keep an eye on these things if you own an affected vehicle or are in the market for one. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe down below because, well, we're always on the cutting edge of what's going on in the automotive world, and this is ideal. You want to live the ideal lifestyle. So like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Check out these ideal vids over here. I'm Brad, this is Ideal. Catch you next week, and promise me one thing, keep living the ideal lifestyle.